Hello and welcome to the box score breakdown. We are going to be recapping January 8th's 3-game slate. It was supposed to be a 4-game slate, but we had a postponement. But I am William is Bill. This is the box score breakdown presented to you by FanDuel. Glad to be back with you guys for another episode of the box score breakdown. Hope all is well. And like I said, we would have had another game tonight, but we are live. We're recording on X, YouTube, Twitter, all that good stuff. And we are here for the 3 games. Since there are only 3 games tonight, I just wanted to break down that Trae Young for Corey Kispert, CJ McCollum trade for a tiny bit more. We got into it a little bit last episode, but how are you guys feeling about that trade now that it's been a day? We had time to think about it. You can give me your comments. Like I said, we are live on X, on YouTube. I would love to hear them. My opinion still remains the same. It was a terrible trade for the Hawks. If that's all you can get for him, just keep him. And I mean, the trade deadline is not approaching tomorrow or something. You still have time. Teams panic. Teams give more closer to the deadline. I think the Hawks are just overthinking things. And they're going to leave their team in shambles if things don't work out. They're going to have a high draft pick, possibly 2. They're going to have $40 million next year. But that doesn't mean you're getting a star player, even a top draft pick. Teams that are supposed to have been picking high have been picking late. So, there's a lot of things going on with that. For the Hawks depth chart right now, they are listed as starters: Dyson Daniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Zachary Reese-Shea, Jalen Johnson, Onyeka Okongwu. So that means they traded Trae Young for 2 players that will not even be starting. CJ McCollum will play heavy minutes. He may be interchangeable with Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Some games one might start, some games the other might, but their bench is pretty depleted. Luke Kennard is the backup, 2 guard. Corey Kispert will move to the backup 3. Muhammad Gay is still the backup 4. I think Asa Newell should take that spot. But the Hawks team is very unappealing. So they're banking on draft picks and money. And that doesn't always work. We've seen the Knicks do that for years before they finally got good, and it never worked. We've seen the Mavs bank on having a lot of money to get free agents, and they never came. Just because you have money doesn't mean you're going to get a stud player, and you dang sure are less likely to get a player the caliber of Trae Young. So that's the outlook for me for the Hawks. For the Wizards, is nothing but an upgrade. The Wizards are going nowhere if they don't make this trade. They possibly are going somewhere if they do make it. And even if they don't, they were going nowhere anyway. But you're getting an all-star point guard, a tremendous three-point shooter, a league leader in assists, tremendous passer, not just number-wise getting double-digit assists per game, a great passer, which Alex Sarr needs tremendously. So, their starting lineup projected right now: Trae Young at the 1, Keyshawn George, Bilal Coulibaly, Chris Middleton, Alex Sarr. Off the bench, Bub Carrington, Trey Johnson, Malachi Branham, Justin Champagnie, Marvin Bagley. That is a solid, really, really good core 10-player deep team right there. And they have Vucevic as well and a couple other rookies and young players. They are deep. They are talented. They are young. And, they didn't plan on having CJ McCollum on their team anyway. They acquired CJ McCollum to trade him. So they showcased him this whole first 30-something games of the season, and they end up getting Trae Young for him, basically. Don't be surprised if they don't do the same thing with Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton does not fit with this team. He is not young enough for this team. He's not healthy enough to play as much as they'll need him. They can use him because he's a great shooter, but don't be surprised if they do the same thing with Chris Middleton. He just has to show that he can be healthy. I'm sure the Bucks want Chris Middleton back at this point. So I don't think the Wizards are done. I don't think they're going to shut anything down. The Wizards can make the playoffs and do some things if Trey is healthy. And even if they are a play-in team, they will be a scary play-in team because this team is talented. And we'll see what happens. So I would love to hear your thoughts on that, but I just had to break that down a little bit more. It's fascinating trade. There's going to be more fascinating trades to come. I just think teams are going to overthink it, and I definitely think the Hawks did that. All right, like I said, 3-game slate. Let's get straight to it like it's nothing to it for January 8th recap. First game, the Pacers defeated the Hornets 114-112. The Pacers are 7-31. The Hornets are 13-25. The Hornets have been playing well, but they drop a disappointing game tonight. Mainly because Pascal Siakam had 30 points, 14 rebounds, 3 assists. Unfortunately, had 6 turnovers. But other than that, flawless game offensively. No defensive stats, but 12 for 23 from the field. That's over 50%. He really played well other than the turnover. The Pacers are weird with their center rotation. Jay Huff was back starting. They had been starting Micah Potter. Isaiah Jackson is out. Sometimes they would play Tony Bradley. Sometimes they wouldn't. Very weird situation. But Jay Huff was back in the starting lineup tonight. Had 10 points, 2 boards, and 3 blocks. That's all he does is get blocks. And he also is talented. He used 2 for 2 from 3-point range. He's the only center that can shoot threes really like that, I believe. I mean, Micah Potter hit a 3 tonight as well, but Jay Huff is more talented than Micah Potter. But we will see how it goes with the next game. Micah Potter played 8 minutes. Tony Bradley played 15 minutes. Jay Huff, 24 minutes. So this team is really unsettled at the center position. But when Jay Huff plays, you're getting blocks. Aaron Nesmith, 16-5 with 2 assists, a steal and a block. Quentin Jackson started and only had 4 points and 5 assists with a steal and a block. He only played 18 minutes. Johnny Furphy started. This is what we expect in 26 minutes, but he only had 7.6 boards, a steal and a block with 2 assists. It's great to see Johnny Furphy starting. I want to see him more productive. It's a very slow burn. If you can be patient with Johnny Furphy, in the next month or so, I think he'll finally get it rolling. But, he has not really shown he deserves to be starting. Yet, here he is starting. So, just get a little more confidence behind him, and Johnny Furphy should be a late season bloomer. Jarris Walker, very disappointing that he is off the bench when he was a top 6 or 7 pick. 6, 7. Anyway, but he had 2 points in 13 minutes, 1 steal, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. Just very disappointing. We know Ben Mathurin is out with an injury right now. Aaron Nembhard was out due to lower back soreness. Last game he played, had a really nice game. He must have tweaked his back at some point, and that is why Quentin Jackson started. TJ McConnell also got big minutes because of this. He actually played more than Quentin Jackson. TJ had 28 minutes. In 28 minutes, he had 23 points, 4 boards, 8 assists, and 4 steals. Now, TJ McConnell can do this every now and then. He's just older, so he can't do it every night. But when he gets opportunity like this to spot fill in, he's going to be productive like this, especially with assists. But he really was knocking down his shot tonight for the Pacers. Tony Bradley and Ben Shepherd both have 7 points, but that was about it. The only other news of note that I mentioned, Micah Potter, 8 minutes. He had been starting. Weird lineup rotation. For the Hornets, who they defeated by 2, Miles Bridges had 19.6 boards, 4 assists, and a steal. Moussa Diabate started again, 10-5 with a block. Brandon Miller came back down to earth really hard. 6 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, 2 blocks. You love the 2 blocks, but everything else was trash. You got to wonder if he got banged up in this one. I did not hear about that. but 19 minutes when Conka Nipple and Miles Bridges played 19 and 36 and 29. It's a little bit weird. And LaMelo came off the bench as well in this one. So very weird game, but bad one for Brandon Miller. Colin Sexton played well enough to start last game off the bench. This game he did start. And 11 points, 5 assists, and 2 steals. It's better than what Zion James has been doing. So I guess, but he started because LaMelo came off the bench. It's just another rear rotation. Conka Nipple had a bad game last game. This game, 18 and 8 with 3 assists and a steal. 5 for 12 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3. So a bit of a bounce back. Not tremendous, but it was something much better than it was. And like I mentioned, LaMelo, really the only player off the bench to be productive. 33 points, 50% from the field, almost 50% from 3. Had 8 assists, 3 boards, and 3 steals. LaMelo went off. Tremendous game. It's like they've been wanting to limit his minutes and keep it in the 20s. He had 27. So, I mean, this worked for him. This is his best game in a long time. I don't know if he likes coming off the bench, but this worked. So we will see. Next game, the Minnesota Timberwolves defeated the Cavs 131-122. Jarrett Allen, 11 and 10 with 2 steals. No blocks, unfortunately. Evan Mobley, 19, 4, 3, and 1 block. Donovan Mitchell with another 30-point game. 30, 7 boards, 8 assists, and a steal. 50% from the field. If he would have hit a couple more threes, would have been an even better game. But it is what it is. Darius Garland, nice game last game. This game, unfortunately, only 16 and 8. The 8 assists are nice, but we want a little more from him. He did have 2 steals. Just a very mediocre game for Darius Garland to play 37 minutes. He's an all-star caliber player. This was not an all-star performance, but just there, solid. Craig Porter started, only played 15 minutes, had 4 points, 2 assists, and a block. That meant Sam Merrill and Jalen Tyson and DeAndre Hunter all came off the bench, and they were 3 of the 4 players that were coming off the bench. But Sam Merrill played 31 minutes, had 22 points, 3 assists, and a steal. Jalen Tyson, 18 minutes, 4 and 5 with a steal. DeAndre Hunter, 14 and 7 with 2 steals. For the T-Wolves, Julius Randle, 28, 11, and 8. And that's why we love Julius Randle. Almost 50% from the field, good free throws. He is not just a big that gets rebounds or blocks. He gets those assists. He gets assists better than many point guards. So to get points, rebounds, and assists from a power forward, that is why it's hard to quit Julius Randle. But Jaden McDaniels had 26 and 5 with 2 steals. Really nice game for him as well. 11 for 14 from the field. You're not going to see that every night. Rudy Gobert, 11 and 13 with 2 steals, 3 assists. You want those blocks. He did not have them. The T-Wolves only had 2 blocks for the whole game, unfortunately. But Anthony Edwards, 25 points, 7 boards, 9 assists, a steal, and a block. And that's what we are not used to with Anthony Edwards, putting up those well-rounded numbers of 7 boards, 9 assists. Normally, that's a lot lower in both categories. So if he can keep this up, tremendous value, 50% from the field. Great game by Anthony Edwards. Naz Reid had 9 and 6 with a steal and a block. Nobody else was really productive, unfortunately. And again, you're listening to the box score breakdown. You may be listening to us on NBA Fantasy today. Doc and Brew will be back later with their recaps and their fantasy breakdowns of the day's games as well. But for now, like, subscribe to Box Score Breakdown if you enjoy what we're doing. I am at William is Bill. We are live. Send me your questions. Last and final game is the Jazz defeated the Mavs 116-114. And you would think, how did the Jazz beat the Mavs? The Jazz are so bad. They're losing on purpose. The Mavs are trying hard. They're only 1 game apart in the standings. Utah is 13 and 24. Dallas is 14 and 24. Kind of crazy, right? But Anthony Davis has missed a lot of games. We know they have no point guard truly with Kyrie out. So Anthony Davis, 21 and 11 with a steal and a block and 4 assists. That is a solid game for AD. Like a little slightly above solid, 50% from the field. But he's kind of just been in cruise mode. Even though it was 35 minutes, he's playing like he's playing 25 minutes, because I know Anthony Davis can score 30 points, but he's just kind of on cruise control. Daniel Gafford started in 25 minutes, has 0 points, 0 shot attempts, not even a free throw attempt, 7 boards, 2 turnovers. That's his stat line, 7 boards, 2 turnovers, zeros in every other compartment. Very weird. We want him for blocks and rebounds. He at least got you 7 rebounds, but that was a weird one. Najee Marshall started 37 minutes, 17 points, 4 boards, 2 assists and a steal, 2 assists and a turnover. Cooper Flag, 26 and 10 with 8 assists, 3 steals, and a block. And like I mentioned with Julius Randle, those categories and offensively, points, rebounds, assists, almost a triple-double. You just can't ask for more than that. Max Christie started 16 points, 4 and 4. Good game. He seems to be back in the good graces of Jason Kidd. Klay Thompson off the bench with 23 points, 5 assists, 3 boards. 6 for 11 from 3. So he was lighting it up out there. That's what we want to see from Klay Thompson. Ryan Nembhard had 7. Nobody else was productive. D'Angelo Russell is a headline, is to me that's not being talked about. He's receiving DMPs every night. He was injured in December. He played the game, I think, on the 27th and did not get hurt in it. From my recollection, from everything I've heard, he's just been getting DMPs ever since. I figured they were slowly going to work him back in, but no, he's just out of the rotation. And we will see if he will be moved. They're treating him like he's going to be moved. For the Utah Jazz, Kevin Love had 10 and 10 with 2 assists. He's like, I can do this in my sleep. You remember what I did in Minnesota? Lauri Markkanen, he played on the back-to-back. 33 points, 7 boards, 4 assists, and 2 blocks, and he played tremendous. Cody Williams got the start. Well-deserved, much needed. In 22 minutes, the lowest amongst starters, had 8 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals. He needs to continue getting opportunity like this so he can get his confidence and continue to develop against starters. Bryce Sensabaugh started 14 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, and a steal. Keontae George, 19 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, and 3 steals. A lot of threes going around there, but great game by Keontae. Walter Clayton off the bench with 12 points and 2 steals. Isaiah Collier, 7 points, 6 assists, and a block. Taylor Hendricks didn't do much. Filipowski underwhelmed again. Ace Bailey, DMP. So, very interesting night of basketball. And I breezed by it, but you need to know that the Heat and Bulls game was postponed due to court condensation. I've heard it's because, they have a hockey ice rink under the court. And I guess that affected the court. I saw something that said it's because of weather outside. That doesn't make sense. But either way, they thought it was going to be postponed maybe like 30 minutes, an hour, and it just never got right. So the game is postponed to another date. And if you had a Heat or Bulls player, they're just like, sorry. That's what happens. All right, and for our players of the night, Pascal Siakam, 30 and 14, tremendous game. LaMelo, 33 and 8 with 3 steals, and that was off the bench. Donovan Mitchell, 30.7 boards, 8 assists. Julius Randle, 28, 11, and 8. Cooper Flag, 26, 10, and 8. And Lauri Markkanen, 33 and 7. All right, so that was our 3-game slate for January 8th. That was some fun basketball. Remember, this is the box score breakdown presented to you by FanDuel. I'm your host, William Harris, a.k.a. William is Bill. And with the box score breakdown, myself, Tim Woodson, Monday through Friday, have you covered. He'll be here tomorrow to recap tomorrow's games. And until next time, I thank you all for listening and watching. Until next time, I'm out of here. Peace.